Remember, there's some pretty important information here in the disclaimer. You might want to give the video a quick pause and read it. Hello my friends! Happy Mario Day! Let's celebrate by making another Sonic themed custom, because that's just how I roll, y'all! Alright, this is the other part of Dylan D's commission. He already had Scourge made, so now we're gonna be doing Super Scourge! All hail the king, baby! Except that, by his request, this is just a straight up Super Scourge that isn't wearing his crown. So, theoretical version of Super Scourge from after the final arc where he broke out of his own prison with the Destructix and Fiona, where he can get his Anarchy Barrel-infused super form again, but he's not the king of Moebius. Yeah, so we're doing this. Before I get into making the Super Scourge figure, I want to show a small edit that I made to the original Scourge. I changed the shape of his shades to be more like the smaller rim shades that he wears in the comic. This was by Dylan's request, so, there you go. They're still wave-shaped glasses, I just kind of cut them, like, with a knife to be this shape. So, yeah, there we go. Alright, so this figure is made out of the cobbled together pieces of Sonic parts that I still have left over, including my very last fully intact Supersonic head, and pieces from a Sonic figure that I think someone tried to use to make into like a Sonic EXE or something, but their attempts to add the blood effects onto the hands just kind of irrevocably stained the hands and arms pink. Like, I seriously have no idea how they did this. They practically dyed the plastic in this new color. I couldn't even get this color to fade with acetone, which, is kind of nuts because the acetone, like, if I used enough of it, could dissolve the part entirely. So, I don't know what they did. This would require me to, like, completely repaint parts that were irrevocably stained. The parts that I had to modify, of course, are right here. Adding the scars to the chest, the tattered sleeves to the hands, changing Knuckles' boots into Scourge's boots, all that good stuff. And in a total repaint, fortunately, since I don't need to rely on the skin color of the arms, because, sleeves are being painted over them. But, I had to totally repaint the gloves white, which took multiple coats, but, I think they still look okay now. In fact, I think they might look a little bit glossier than they originally did, so, there we go. And then, of course, making his shades. Of course, when Super Scourge transforms, like, even his clothing elements change color along with him, so his red shades turn blue, and even the flames on his coat turn into a blue color. Which, don't get me wrong, is awesome. It's not logical at all, but it's freaking awesome. I mean, everybody knows that blue flames are hotter than red flames. Like I said, this is a very old school conversion, no 3D printing, using a Jazzwares figure. Like, this is all classic stuff that I used to do, like, a decade ago, except, I'm doing it now with all of my refined techniques. So here is Super Scourge, looking all this up. In fact, with the purple super form, it's kind of like Vegeta's new Ultra Ego form from the Dragon Ball Super manga. And speaking of which, I'm sure pretty much everyone has heard by now about the tragic end of, Akira Toriyama. I've actually been very bummed about that all weekend ever since I found out. The dark humor of this is that I found out about it when I was just scrolling through the Sonic the Hedgehog Reddit at like midnight, and then all of a sudden I see this note like, oh, the passing of Akira Toriyama on March 1st. I'm like, what? Like, at first I was really upset that it had apparently been a week prior, and I was only finding out then, but apparently his death was kept secret until after his funeral service, probably so that they could prevent people from, crashing it. And I can imagine, because he was such an influential figure. Like, I mean, the death of Akira Toriyama, that's kind of on par with the death of Stan Lee, you know? Like, he was such a big, important figure that everybody looked up to. Like, he's touched so many fandoms. Like, even if people didn't like Dragon Ball, like, they'd seen, well, which is very rare. Like, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that they don't like Dragon Ball, but even theoretically, if you didn't, like, some trope from Dragon Ball probably touched something that you did like. I mean, it was a huge influence on pretty much all shonen anime and even American action franchises. Like the final battle at the end of Matrix Revolutions was totally a Dragon Ball Z battle sequence. It was an internet meme because of how much it resembled a Dragon Ball battle sequence. And yeah, like that's really, really sad and upsetting that happened. Oh man, I'm really sorry that that the last part of this video where I'm showing off pictures of the figure end with such a bunch of downer dialogue, but yeah, this is like just a thing. So yeah, like many thanks to Akira Toriyama for everything that he did for us. Like, this very character that I'm making probably wouldn't exist if it wasn't for his influence. The Sonic the Hedgehog franchise itself probably wouldn't have gotten as far if it wasn't for them utilizing tropes that he developed. So, you know, let's all pour one out for one of the greatest manga writers and one of the greatest artists of our generation. Thank you all for watching this video. Let's have Sonic the Hedgehog take us out like he always does.
Oh, hey everybody, it's me, Sonic the Hedgehog. Just here to remind you that if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. And for even more amazing customs, don't forget to subscribe to Wake Angel 2001. Because between you and me, they're way past cool.